and welcome to Mandarines. My name is Melody. I'm a French lady living in Latvia and I'm addicted to knitting. So I thought um, I could start sharing my journey through knitting and my love for yarn and for wool. So yeah. So maybe I should start and maybe explain how I started knitting and how I became so hooked with the craft. So I started knitting about 2 years ago. I always wanted to teach myself how to knit, but I didn't have anyone who could teach me. My mom tried several times to teach me how to knit, but we were trying at home with very long needles and some acrylic baby pink yarn, and I don't know, I didn't like it at all. Even though there was, so back to high school, when I was in high school, there was a girl that came one day with a huge chunky black scarf that her grandmother knit her, and I just thought it was the most amazing thing ever, and I just thought it was really beautiful, and I wanted to be able to do something like this myself. So I think a few weeks later I asked my mom to teach me, and it didn't really work out. And it's only several years later, so when I was in university, it was during summer holiday, and I was preparing to go to study in China. So I had a lot of time in front of me, so I just decided to go to the only yarn shop that I knew at that time, which is called Fil d'Art. And I grabbed a pair of 8mm bamboo needles, I think, and I knew that I wanted to have my scarf. I wanted to have a Christmas red scarf, but the only yarn that was available in the shop was some kind of, I think it was a sport weight, something quite light. And obviously I didn't know anything about gauge or how to buy a yarn that would work with your needles. So I didn't know anything about that. I just thought that I wanted to have something chunky, and the fact that my needles were quite big would make the job. So I remember spending many hours watching videos online trying to learn the craft. So I learned how to cast on and knit, and that was it, because my scarf was really simple. It was just a garter stitch scarf. So I think I spent I don't know, days and days and days sitting on my bed and knitting one stitch after another, and it was really, really long. I don't know if I really enjoyed the process that much, because, well, it was quite difficult in the sense that it was really, really long, and I was making so many mistakes. I was asking my mom sometimes to help me out to fix my mistakes, but at the end, there were so many holes that I just didn't want to bother her every 5 minutes and ask her something. So I just told myself, just don't worry, you're gonna make some kind of surgery later, sew the stitches together to hide the holes, and it didn't happen. But yeah, so it was not so much about the process, but it was, I really wanted to have a scarf, so yeah, I cannot say that I really, really enjoyed the process. And that's maybe why I didn't knit when I was in China. That's probably one of the reasons. So when I was there, I know that I took my bamboo needles with me, and I thought I didn't know about sizes, so I just thought that I could just substitute the yarn and work kind of everything with my 8 millimeters needle. I don't know, I didn't know anything, so I just took my knitting needles, and I remember that there was um, a, a shop not far from where I lived, and the lady that was working there, she was carrying yarn only during the winter, but it was really hard to buy yarn from her because so she was selling cakes, but there was no labels on the yarn, so it was for a beginner knitter, it's really hard to know what kind of yarn to buy to make something. So I didn't know the fiber or the weight or anything. So it was just a bit overwhelming to see that much yarn in one place. And it was, yeah, for 2 years, I think I didn't knit, or maybe just a bit, but I didn't make that much progress. And it's only when I came back to France that I got really hooked to it. I was quite busy, both studying and working, but I still found the time to gather with different ladies in Paris. We were meeting almost every week in different coffee shops, talking about knitting together, just enjoying. And I think that's really the trigger that pushed me to learn more about the craft, get involved on Ravelry, and yeah, engage with more knitters. And since that day, I think I've been knitting almost nonstop. I just think it's like breathing. I mean, it's so addictive. I just cannot imagine, yeah, spending a few days without my um, pointy needles. So that's my little story. Um, I think I can start sharing what I'm currently working on. I just at the moment I have one sweater on the go, and I cast on for something else yesterday. So let's start with the sweater. So it's the, I hope I'm not gonna butcher that. It's the Stroker sweater by Isolati. And it's an Icelandic sweater that is knit bottom up, and it features a very beautiful fair eye yoke on the top. And this is my very first time knitting a Fair Isle sweater, a Fair Isle garment. I only knit Fair Isle once, and it was only a few weeks ago. I will talk about that a bit later. So I was really, really excited because since I finished my hats in Fair Isle, I've been really interested in traditional patterns that include Fair Isle, and I just thought like this project would be the perfect one to start because I don't think it's too complicated. There's just a bit of Fair Isle on the top, so it's not the whole garment that is knitted that way. So I cast on for that project, but I think at the end of August, I was I was not tired of the summer because our winters here are very, very long, but I don't know. I think it was because of Ravelry. There were more and more sweaters coming up, and I don't know. Maybe I don't remember if I was already knitting a sweater at that time, but I just I don't know, I just wanted to have a nice sonic sweater, so I cast on in August, and I think I didn't make that much that much progress, because, well, it's a lot of stockinette, I must say, and yeah, I think it took me about maybe 2 weeks to complete the bottom parts of the body, and well, right after I finished, so the body, I just thought like it could be nice to have some kind of fair isle as well, close to the ribs, but just the prospect of knitting the whole body one more time, it was not possible. So what I did instead, I cast on for the sleeves. I think at the beginning of the week, and yeah, I just thought like I could maybe try to include a simple fair eye pattern close to the cuff, because it could be nice. I think it could work quite well. So so the yarn that I'm using for that project is the Let's Lopi by Lopi, which is a 100% Icelandic wool, and I think it's an iron weight. So I have the main color is this dark gray, and the contrasting colors are this light gray and the rust color, and I think they really work well. They work really well together. So that was it. So I went to, I don't remember the name of the website, but I will try to include it in the show notes. So it's a free website where you can basically create your own colorwork charts. So I played with the colors that I had, and I just wanted to have something simple that wouldn't take away too much from the yoke. So that's what I did. It's a very simple pattern. It's worked on 9 rows, and it's a 5-stitch repeat. So the sleeves, that's how it looks like. It's very simple, but I think it's quite nice. I knit that 2 times because the first time I had put the fair owl pattern like not close enough to the cuff, so I think it was a bit weird. So I ripped it back and did it again, close it to the cuff. So that's what I'm working on. Yeah, I think that's it for the work in progress, because I used to have many more projects on the go, but I cast off quite a few of them. So yeah, I think I'm gonna talk about my finished objects. So I was talking about my first Fair Eye project, and I finished it by the end of August. I started that on the 4th of October, to celebrate the Shetland Wool Week. So I really wanted to attend the event, but well, it's not always possible. So I just thought it could be really nice to host some kind of knit along and engage with more knitters, and maybe knitters that are quite new to Fair Isle, because this project is not very complicated. You only have to hold 2 strands of yarn at the same time. So yeah, I don't think it was that complicated, except for making sure that the tension was right. but I think that blocking helps quite a bit with that. So that's it's called the Shrook hat. Yeah, I think it's Shrook. Shrook hat. Very, very beautiful. And I used the Jamieson and Smith 2-ply jumper weight yarn for that. I wear it quite a bit at home, just at home, because I have quite a bit of ends to weave in. I'm just a bit lazy. I will do it very soon, for sure. Now I want to wear it outside, so I will have to do that, definitely. So yeah, and it was so much fun to see so many people choosing different colors, and to see their final project. It was really, really nice. I enjoyed myself so much choosing the colors, and it's much more challenging than it seems, because yes, you can choose the colors that you like, but you also have to make sure that they work well together, and the contrast between the colors is important enough to actually show the pattern, because if there's not enough contrast, the pattern will not show very well. So yeah, but I mean, I think it's alright. I cannot wait for next year Shetland Wool Week and see what pattern will be available. It was so much fun. So much fun. Finished object. I don't have show notes, so yeah, my shawl. This is called the Charlene shawl by Layla Rabi, I think, and it's a very beautiful and simple shawl, a triangular shawl. I absolutely love that pattern, and I think I'm gonna have to knit another one in a different color. How pretty that is. Simple lace reminds me of a fern. So for that project, I have used the Fiber Company Raw to China Light in the Moonstone colorway, and it's a blend of 65% baby alpaca, 10% cashmere, 10% camel, and 15% silk. And I think it's a sport weight. I'm not sure, I think. And it's, I wrote in my little journal that it's definitely in my top 10. I absolutely love that yarn. And I think it's perfect for shawls, because it's very drapey, soft. It shows the stitches very, very well. It's warm. I just love it. And it was really hard to choose between the colors, because there were so many that I wanted to try. I wanted to try this yarn for such a long time, but when you don't live in America and you want to have American yarns, it's really hard to have them because the shipping cost is very expensive. So I had to find a yarn shop that would resell that yarn. And there's an online shop that I really, really like, which is called Meadow Yarn. It's based in the UK. And that yarn was 30% off on the website, so I just grabbed 2 skeins, and then I found the pattern, and I think it works. Sorry, my computer screen just stopped. So what was I saying? yeah, 30% off. So I just grabbed 2 skeins, and then I found a pattern, and I think it would work really well together. And they were sorry, there was so many beautiful colors that it was really hard to choose only one. And well, I will talk about that a bit later in the yarn acquisitions. So the shawl, I'm just in love. I love it. I try not to wear it with everything, but my point of choosing that yarn was to wear it with everything. So I wear it quite a bit. So I think that's it for the finished objects. No, I have one more thing. Right. This project, I started this project, that's a Christmas present for someone in my family. And I cast on that project at the beginning of July because I knew that I would be busy during this time of the year. So I just thought, okay, just even though Christmas is quite far, it will arrive really soon. So yeah, I just cast on really early, and it happened that I didn't work that much on it over the past few months, and it's only recently that I've been working crazy on it because I was really worried that I wouldn't complete it before Christmas. So this is called the Warble Cow. It's been published on the Quince & Company website. I think it was published with the, every year they make a scarf collection with independent designers that can submit their projects, their patterns, and they select a few. And this one was one of them, and I think it's really beautiful. So the yarn that I'm using for that is the Cascade Venetia Sport, and it's 70% merino wool and 30% mulberry silk. And it's very soft. That was not my first choice. I had first selected the Pickles merino thread. So it's a 100% merino wool, and it's thread. I love thread, and yeah, I think this yarn is very beautiful, but I was a little bit concerned with that yarn because sorry, so the person that is going to receive that cowl is she's extremely sensitive to wool, in the sense that I knit her another cowl, a very chunky cowl, which I thought was extremely soft, and she told me not a long time ago that she's actually not wearing it except when she has some kind of silk scarf underneath, because if the yarn touches her skin, she starts to itch a lot, so she cannot wear it. So I just thought, like, I had to get something else because that would be many hours of knitting, and just if she would not wear it, that would make no sense to spend that much time. So I decided to go with that. And I was a bit concerned with that yarn as well because I've knit 2 times with Cascade 220, which is a superwash wool, and I didn't know about superwash when I knit this project. I learned about it not such a long time ago, and so I have 2 hats and a pair of mittens, and I really love this project. The finished objects are really beautiful, and I wear the mittens during the winter time, but there was something about them that I didn't really like, and it was really hard to explain myself why. I didn't know what was wrong, and yeah, then I just made the connection between Superwash and this project, and I I love I love natural wool. I make sure natural yarns. I make sure that I always buy natural wool, so it could be alpaca, wool, cashmere. I'm very careful with that. So for me, it doesn't really make sense to buy superwash. I mean, if you work, I mean, for me, if I'm working with natural wools, I don't see the point um, to have a yarn that has been processed so much, because I think that's just my personal opinion. But for me, when I touch my hats and these mittens, I feel that there's something that is missing. I cannot really explain it, but there's something that I don't really like about it. I think it would be fine for me to knit something that would need to be washed more often, like socks, or maybe knit something in superwash for someone that is really sensitive to wool because it's much softer. But other than that, I think I'm not going to use superwash at all. So, um, so this project, it's a cowl, but I still have to attach the two ends together. The only problem with that is so you cast on with you start with the provisional crochet cast on, but I think I forgot something. I did it right with the Pickles Merino thread yarn, so I worked with the contrasting color, and I don't know what happened, but with this one I just used the same color, and obviously it's quite hard to pick up the stitches, but it's okay. I'm taking my time, and I'm sure I'm gonna figure this out. So that's it for the finished objects, or almost finished objects. I can talk a bit about my yarn acquisitions. So as I said a bit before, I was really in love with this yarn, and I went back to the Meadow Yarn website last week, and I saw that one of the colors that I really wanted to have was still available and was still 30% off, and there was only 3 skins left. I had to get them, so I received them yesterday, and I'm so pleased. The color is so beautiful, and I'm sure that I'm going to make another shawl with these 3, but maybe I'm going to wait a little bit, because usually what I do when I get yarn, I only get yarn and I have a specific pattern in my mind. So I don't really have, I mean, I have a stash, but I don't really collect yarn. So I would say that as soon as I receive the yarn, I start to cast on the project that I had in mind. And even though that's a good thing, because I have a stash control, I cannot really indulge and look up at my stash and dream of all the things that I could make with the yarn that I have. So I'm not going to buy a crazy amount of yarn, but it's just like when you have a 30% off on a yarn like this, I think, and when it's hard to get it in Europe, I think I just cannot let it go. So I got these. It's not that pink. It's I don't know. Yeah, it's more dark, a bit more dark than that, but there's definitely some light, some shine in the yarn. There's some peps of orange, and I don't know how to explain that color actually, but extremely soft and squishy, beautiful. The colorway is called Carnelian, so it's still the same blend. Absolutely beautiful. And yesterday I received something else as well. I started to cast on with one of the yarns that I received, but I cannot really show you that right now. I will probably show you by the end of the month or the beginning of December. Sorry for that. Yeah, we're back. So yeah, I will probably show you that by the end of the month or beginning of December. So this is a French yarn, which is called Gilead, I think. And the company is called De Natura, and it's 100% French merino wool. That's the poivre pepper colorway. So I got 2 skins of that. Whoa. Very beautiful. And it's extremely soft. It's there's 250 meters for 100 grams. So it's a very big ball of yarn. And then I have the... It's not that pink either. Yeah. Probably more like that. And that's the colorway is called Confiture de Rose, which is strawberry jam. So I guess that's it. I have yarn and projects all over the place. Yeah. So maybe I could chat a little bit more about the things that I really like to do apart from knitting. So as I said before, right now I live in Latvia, and I'm passionate about things that are related to nature, and I'm lucky enough to have a huge forest that starts right here, runs through Latvia and ends in Estonia. It's absolutely huge, and it's an evergreen forest. I don't know if you've ever seen Scandinavian forests, but there's a lot of pine trees and birch, and we have quite a similar landscape here. Very, very beautiful. A lot of mushrooms growing throughout the year. And a few weeks ago, that was the harvesting time. You could see many people going in the woods with boots and baskets, trying to take advantage of the season. Then we have a lot of berries, so many berries in these woods. It's amazing. Apple trees. So I really love to go and try to get free food. So mushrooms, berries, apples. Then when I come back home, I like to either cook the mushrooms straight away, or I like to preserve them for the winter. So I like to dry them on little strings of yarn that I hang in the kitchen to let them dry very well. Then I can keep them in jars and use them later during the winter when I really crave for mushrooms and rehydrate them, wash them, cook them, and then I can make soups and different recipes. Then with the fruits, it's the same process. I can dry some of them, or I recently tried something that is called fruit leather, and it's fantastic. It's one of the best way, I think, to preserve the fruits, because you don't add that much sugar inside, and yeah, it's really nice for snacking. Then I make jams, and yeah, most most of the time we eat almost everything before preserving, so the larder is not that big at the moment. We also make sauerkrauts. We brew kombucha. What else do we do? Sourdough bread. We started not a long time ago, and uh, it's very nice. We stopped using commercial yeast, so we try to sourdough everything. And I think I have a very tiny balcony, but I've tried to grow a few veggies this year. Um, it didn't work really well apart from the tiny tomatoes, because I grew everything from seeds and we don't have that much light. So it was really, really hard. I planned to have lettuces and cucumbers, and I bought like many seeds, but I only managed to have tomatoes this year. So I hope next year will be better with my little crop. So yeah, I also love taking pictures, whether it's at home or when I'm in the woods, taking pictures of just simple things, the things that I like to do, because time passes really fast, and I think it's important to record as much things as possible. So I have several diaries as well. I like to take notes of things, keep things. Yeah, so once my pictures are edited, I like to put them on my blog. I'm quite active on my blog, which is www.bmandarines.squarespace.com. I'm also a huge fan of Instagram. I'm a bit Instagram crazy. I like to take just simple pictures of the things that I'm doing or my yarn, or I love it. So you can find me at bmandarines, and it's the same for Ravelry, bmandarines. So I guess that's about it. I hope that I will have the courage to update that and put it online. So yeah, I think that's about it. So happy knitting, and until next time. Bye.